Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got some special guests joining us this morning. We have Miss Voletta Wallace. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
And we also have our good friend Wayne sitting in the background. Wayne said he was about to leave, but he ain't going nowhere. Wayne Barrow, he ain't going nowhere. What's up, brother?
I'm blessed and be a blessing.
Yeah, man, it's a very special thing happening this weekend. The 2020 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions, and the late, great Christopher Wallace, the notorious B.I.G., will be inducted into the 2020 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's great.
That's
amazing.
an amazing thing.
So what does that mean to you? How do you feel about that?
Well, for me, as a mother, of course, I'm very, very happy about it. I'm elated about it. I'm thrilled. I'm only sorry he's not here.
Yeah.
To be a part of it. It's sad that, most of these honors are going to people who are not here.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm sure he would be thrilled. And for that reason, I am thrilled myself.
Wayne, what does it mean to you? I got to ask you the same question. What does it mean to you?
You know what? It's kind of one of those bittersweet things. I'm on it. He's never been able to experience what we've experienced from his fans.
Right.
Like the accolades came after his passing. Right. He was on the cusp of doing so much, so it's bittersweet for me from that standpoint. But I think it's extremely well deserved, and I'm thankful to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for acknowledging him for his music and his art. And it's been a hard fought fight over these last 24 years. So it means a lot, and I'm blessed and I'm thankful and grateful that we were able to experience this, and more specifically that Ms. Wallace was able to be here to witness it.
Absolutely.
Miss Wallace, how does it feel that Biggie is celebrated so much, like even to this day? In Brooklyn, there's murals of Biggie everywhere. Every single restaurant you go into, there's a painting hanging up of Christopher Wallace on the wall. He has his own street and everything. How does that feel for you?
A very proud mother. Very proud mother. Sad. Sometimes when I see things, it brought tears to my eyes. Once again, as I said, he's not here to see these things. And I'm going to be honest with you. My son is being acknowledged in so many entities, so many avenues, so many programs. Everywhere you turn, there's a Biggie, there's a Notorious, there's this. I never knew, and I can honestly say, I never knew that my son was that, I'm going to use the word famous. I never knew because I'm not a rap mother. I don't know anything about rap music. I've learned over the years,
Right.
What it is and how to appreciate it. Now I appreciate it. I really, really do. I appreciate the young men who are trying, who've done it. But that wasn't me. Because even today, I'm trying to listen to some of the words. What did he say? Or,
Right.
when he spoke of Alizé, I thought he was talking about hallway. Well, I don't know, but now I know what it is.
Now, let me ask a question. Now, with Pepsi just released an unreleased freestyle from Big, right? Now, are there other unreleased records and verses that you guys might know of or something like that? Because this was a surprise. This was so long ago. It's like, wow, there might be some verses that's still lingering around.
Yes, it is.
I think people are holding on to some of those jewels. We just got to get a hold of it. But most of what the actual state controls and has actually access to, it is what it is. It's it's been exploited. It's been out there. This Pepsi commercial has been in the works from '97 when it was done.
Wow.
The deal just couldn't get done. Then he passed, and then it just kind of went away. and enough just continued to fight to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, it stayed relevant. And the connection with Rob Stone over at Cornerstone, him and his team, are the ones that brought it back to light. So, you know what I'm saying?
And at one point, we couldn't find that tape.
Oh, wow.
At one point, we couldn't find it.
Where did y'all find it? Was it at Mr. C's house? Was it at Puff's crib? Like, where was that? Where was that tape at?
I think Enough had a copy of it.
Enough.
Yeah, and I think that's why it sounds so choppy. You know what I'm saying? It's not digitized or anything along those lines. So it is the actual raw file. So.
Dope.
Miss Wallace and Wayne, you know, as a fan, you know, we sit around and we debate in the barbershops. When we at the house, we talk about the what if, you know. So I always wonder for the family, how tough were the what ifs? When you ask yourself, what if he was here? What if he did this? How tough were the what ifs for the family?
I can't tell about the family, but I can speak about me. Mm-hmm. What if he was here? Maybe I would strangle him. Maybe I would strangle him because, you know, some of the some of his associates, I still want to strangle them. But you know, there's a lot of what ifs. I know he would be a happy guy. I know I would be a happy mother because he was a good kid. Mm. You know, he was a nice person. We fought a lot, you know, but the makeup was so beautiful. There's so much apologies behind it. And he, you know, his explanation, he made me understand what he's trying to do, what he was trying to say. I still can't take the profanity. Mm-hmm. Still can't. I listen to his music, and I say, Jehovah, please help me. Mm-hmm. You know, so the what ifs, maybe we'll be still fighting, but he would still be my best friend.
Yeah.
What about you, Wayne?
The what ifs for me is more, I think that he would have elevated the culture, hip hop in general. He just had a way of bringing the best out of people, forcing them to kind of step up just from a lyrical standpoint, musically, and I think given the dynamics of where we are from a technology standpoint, because he was so in tune with everything around him and always ahead of the curve, that he would have been delving into things that kind of opened himself up to allow himself to be what these guys have become today, like the Jays and the Puffs. But from his perspective, in his way. And, you know what I'm saying, from my standpoint, I think that in itself is the what if that always haunts me, if you will.
Absolutely.
I love when I hear people with their really good and fond memories, people who knew Biggie and worked with him. I was just talking to Method Man, and he was talking about how he first got introduced to Biggie and how they ended up working together and everything. So what are some of your favorite stories to hear about your son?
There's a variety of them. They're always loving ones, you know, and they always spoke about his generosity, his kindness, his patience, and him wanting to help to make everyone better. You know, he wants everyone to have something. He wasn't the kind of guy who wants to keep it for himself. He was a sharer. He likes to share. And the respect that he had for even their mothers, you know, they went all out. You know, Miss Wallace, you know, he did this for me. He did that for me. Things that I never knew. Did you know that he helped me here and he helped me there? I know it's in his heart. I know that kindness was there, but I've never experienced it. But knowing he wasn't here and to hear them say, oh, Miss Wallace, did you know in that shop he bought me that chair? In the barber shop he bought me that chair?
Wow.
Did you know he paid my rent for 2 months?
Wow. You
know, that was very touching.
Wow.
That was very, very touching for me.
Wayne, do you have any stories you can share in front of Miss Wallace? Any fun stories?
A lot of different things that story point wise that you can get into. Wow.
And it never gets,
He's really thinking of a PG story. You trying to think of a PG story?
I'm trying to think of something that I could actually, you know what I'm saying, to share that's like, But most of the stories that I have are generally related to just his humor, right? I mean, remember being in a dice game with him one day in the hallway of Daddy's house, and I mean, it was a bunch of brothers up in there, but you know, we're not on the snitch game. So at the end of the day, he lost. And when he lost, he was mad. I mean, oh my goodness, he was so mad. And at the end of the day, he put me up in the corner and said, yo, you know what I'm saying? I need to hold something because I need to come back, right? So I told him, no. No? What do you mean no? Ain't I the one paying you? Hit me with the ain't I the one paying you. So I gave him what he needed.
Exactly.
He said,
right.
so I gave it to him. You got a point, Big.
End of story.
I gave him what he needed. He did not win.
Oh.
And then told me that I still got to give him some more money so he can go ahead and eat.
Hilarious.
Bus moves.
Right?
Did you ever get the money back?
He always had this way of bossing up on you. It's just, you know, Big was a very humorous guy, but I called him a gentle giant. You know what I mean? He had this big heart, took care of everybody, and never ever wavered.
Mm-hmm.
It's just who he was.
Miss Wallace, even before he became a rapper, did all the women love him around the neighborhood? Like, did he always?
My telephone bill. All these, what do you call them? His honeys.
All these honeys?
Honeys. So many honeys were calling that house. I told him, look, honey, you got to get your own phone. I mean, everyone you could think of. I could tell you a story. One morning, I was in my bedroom and I heard someone, I told this story already. And the person said, well, excuse my language, it's early in the morning. I am not going to be your second bitch. Whoa. So I'm listening. And then after she was gone, I said, come here. I heard the conversation. Second, honey, I'm pretty she doesn't know she's about the fifth.
So what do you do after something like that, Miss Wallace? Do you hand them? Because I grew up Jehovah's Witness. Do you hand them a watchtower or an awake and say, read this?
Oh, it's been all over the house.
All over.
I don't have to hand it. It was there on the sofa. It was on his pillow. It was on the dining room table. It was all over.
That's what my mom used to do to me when I used to get in trouble. It would always be a watchtower based on whatever the subject was that I got in trouble for.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Second, honey, that's not the second. That's about the fifth.
Hey, Wayne, I got a question. How much of your love of hip hop died with Big?
Wow. Pretty honestly, none, actually. What died with Big for me was the purity of hip hop, right? What he represented as far as the purity is concerned. But hip hop, it's in me. It's just who I am. It's what, you know what I'm saying, I grew up in. But in terms of dying with him, it's definitely the purity. I don't think that that has been sustained.
Mm-hmm. You know, with some estates, you know, they're very fickle when they sign off on music. How are you guys with signing off on music? Do you pretty much say, you know what, we allow it, or is it like, no, I gotta hear where it's going, I gotta hear the song, I gotta hear what they're talking about? Like, how do you decide if you're gonna sign off or not? Is it something like, you know, Ms. Wallace says, no, too much profanity, I'm not signing off on that? You know, how does it work?
Well, it's two ways. One, she does say that a lot.
Okay.
But it is hip hop. And, you know what I'm saying, you have to make her understand the business of it. Once you make her understand the business of it, then she's okay. I'm okay with it. You can go ahead and approve it. There's nothing that's come out in the last 23 years that has not been approved by Ms. Wallace. Her ears have touched everything. Everything has touched her ears. She's in every element of the business. So from that standpoint, you know what I'm saying, I think that it lends us the opportunity to have the sensibilities to do good business. So for me, I know what works and what doesn't. I know what she wouldn't want done and what she would want done. So there are a lot of records that came through over the years. And I was like, absolutely not. One, either the record was straight whack, or the business wasn't right. They was selling something that we knew would be detrimental to the brand.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So for us, it's always about the legacy, and it's always about assuring that we stay true to what he would do.
Gotcha.
Close as we could.
Gotcha.
Is it hard to watch like the unsolved stories that come on and the series and stuff like that they've done on?
Yes. Oh, yes. But it's not done yet. We're still fighting. You know, it's still there.
Right.
You know, we're not. I'm not going to give up. And I'm sure when it comes to CJ, he wants justice also, and also his daughter Chianne.
She's asking you about how you feel when you're watching
Unsolved Mysteries.
No, like the thing that Wavy was in.
Unsolved. Okay.
On what was that?
To be honest with you, I watched it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some things that went on. I knew about it. I told him I wasn't going to be a part of it, but I watched it, and I'm glad it was out. I am glad because 98% of it is the truth.
Wow.
Wow.
That's one of those things that we didn't approve of, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
It turned out to be good, but the way that they went about it was tacky, right? They didn't come and ask for permission. They just put it out there. You know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. And I think that was something that was detrimental to the family at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But it did turn out to be a good show. So it paid off for them, of course. But at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. But that's one of those things to the point that you asked as far as the question.
I seen something the other day. Go ahead, Ms. Wallace. I'm sorry.
No, I said, I lost my train of thought.
Was it because of Envy's beard?
Stop it. Now, I was going to say, I seen something the other day, and it kind of bothered me. It was an apartment or a condo, or maybe even it was a home. They were selling in New Jersey, and they were selling it based off of Big living there.
What's the name of the street? Elliott Court.
I don't remember the name of it, but they were saying this apartment they were selling, this was the house of Big, come by the house, and they were selling it based off of that. And I was like, is that legal? Can you do that?
Must have been in Teaneck.
It was in Teaneck. Yeah, I think it was in Teaneck.
Yeah, it's very possible. 5 Elliott Court.
Huh?
5 Elliott Court.
That's what it was, yep.
5 Elliott Court.
That's the real estate man. He knows what's what.
Yeah, he knows.
But people do that all the time. They'll be like, this person used to live here, you know.
They do the same thing in Brooklyn and St. James. They do the same thing with the Crown.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, same thing.
Oh, I saw that. That Crown did get auctioned off, right?
Almost 600,000, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is it to heal when you see, you know, big everywhere? Like even this weekend with the induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or you know the biopics that they always do, the documentaries. Like how hard is it to heal when with all of that?
It saddens me every time. Every time I see things like that. I mean, I'm going to be watching the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I've seen, you know, clips of it, and it touched me. You know, I cried when I got the rough cut, especially at the end. I was going all over the place. So every time I see things like that, it seems like yesterday he was here and I was talking to him. Mm-hmm. So it really saddens me. I'm glad it's out there, and I'm glad everybody's doing what they are doing. I just want them to do it fairly and, you know, with taste.
Absolutely.
I'm saddened by it.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Wayne?
I mean, I've become numb to it, right?
That's not good though.
Well, I mean, when I say I've healed, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I've become numb to the nuances of what that represents, right? Because it represents something different to me. Because inward, I know where I am, and I know that from a healing standpoint, I'm tapped in a different way, right? So I'm cool with that. I think that the thing that bothers me is the disrespect that comes with it, right? You got people out here that's promoting parties and doing things along those lines, or creating opportunities and campaigns for themselves, but aren't giving back to the foundation, never giving back to the kids. For me, it's always been about the kids, right? And Ms. Wallace. So from that standpoint, it's like when you're doing that and that level of disrespect, nah, I'm cool. I passed on that. So I've kind of detached myself from the emotion so that we can get into the business of it all. And that's when I get on my thing.
Gotcha.
What happened with that crown getting auctioned off? Where does that money go? I know it was like a photographer or somebody who had it.
Sure, it goes to him. I wish he would donate something to the foundation.
That would make a lot of sense because that went for a lot.
Yeah, went for a lot. Barron's a good guy, Baron Clinton, and we do have a great relationship with him. Do a lot of business with him. Have done a lot of business over the years. I do see him as the kind of brother that will reach out, and he has reached out. We just haven't to talk about what that would look like. But I don't want anybody to think for a second that the man is not out there thinking about things from the estate standpoint or from the family standpoint, because in the years that I've known him and the years that we've been doing business with him, he's always been that guy.
Gotcha.
You know, when you say that you're healed, just going back to the healing thing, does healing mean, you know, his death is something that you accept?
Healing for me is not only accepting, Charlamagne. Healing to me is fortifying oneself, right? At the end of the day, we're all born to die, right? It's about how you live your life that matters, right? And for me, I live my life upright and on a square surrounded by a circle. So as far as I'm concerned, my inner self, I know how to heal Wayne, if that makes sense, right? And in healing me, I can comfort others.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So I've accepted death in a different way because I've dealt with so much death from childhood to manhood. So at the end of the day, it's not something that I'm afraid of. It's not something that I'm afraid to discuss. It's not mentally challenging. It's not emotionally challenging. I'm content. I'm balanced in my life.
What about you, Ms. Wallace? Is this something that you've accepted, his death?
It was hard. And because I know death is final, and for him, it's final, I accept it. But there are little avenues, little crevices and corners of his death that I cannot and I will not accept. And I'm saying that because I'm a true Christian, because what's right is right. What's fair is fair. Murder is wrong. Badness is wrong. I cannot accept that. Those are things that I know I can't accept. But the fact that he's not here, I have accepted that. I have accepted the fact that his children are here. I love them dearly. But the fact that he's not here to see them grow into the woman and the man that they are, it's hard for me to accept what happened to him because they took that away. And that sometimes hurts. So do I accept his death? Yes, I do. But the way it happened, nah.
Do you ever feel like you get signs that he's still watching over you?
Oh, honey, death is final. He's not watching me. One is watching. I know somebody's watching me. because if he wasn't watching and guiding me, I wouldn't be here today. But as far as Christopher is concerned, oh, honey, he's asleep in death. Deep sleep. And I'm looking forward to seeing him again in the near future.
Right. Have either one of you like seen him in a dream or?
I've seen him many times.
Okay.
Many times, laughing, laughing. His little comedic self, and quarreling too. Yeah, I've dreamt him many times.
What about you, Wayne?
I actually speak to him daily. I speak to my ancestors a lot, and so doing kind of embraced him into the family in that way. So he's a part of my daily conversations.
When you think about it, Wayne, because whenever you see, like when his birthday comes around, you like, dang, Biggie would have been, late 40s. Like when you think about it, do you realize how young y'all were?
You know what's crazy? Yes, I do. It kind of 25 years is a long time. You understand what I'm saying? And so much has happened, so much has gone on, so much has been missed, so much has been remissed, so much, it's just so much about life just that happens in that time period that you lose sight of the fact that you're getting older, as long as you're staying true to who you are, right? So with that said, absolutely, I look at it and I'm like, wow, I can't believe that. I think at that time I was 25.
Wow.
Wow.
25, 26. Yeah, by then, it's crazy, and I'm a little older than them.
Did you even understand the magnitude of what y'all was doing back then?
I know, absolutely not. And from my experience in the business, looking back, it's almost like I how you get that mirror effect where you want to look back at life and see what you would have done different. And the reasons why. There's nothing that I would have done different, but knowing what I know now, I understand how much wrong we did because of youth.
Right.
We were too young to be able to really, really embrace and understand what to do with all that we had. The 90s was the greatest moment, you know what I'm saying, in my young life as a young man. The 90s was it. There has been nothing since that catapulted that energy for me, right? The youth today, they're different. I respect them for who they are and what they're doing, no different than what we did back in the day, but the 90s was just something different. It was just special.
It was.
That's the most tragic thing about the whole situation when you think about how young Tupac and Biggie were, and it was just simple, youthful mistakes, not realizing the power of your tongue, not realizing your influence. Right. Just a little bit of age and experience would have changed the perspective of either one of them.
And another thing too, to that point, Charlamagne, it's crazy because if you think about it, us being young, we had elders, but our elders weren't that much older.
Yeah.
I was blessed to come up under a totally different regime. Gene Griffin, you know what I'm saying? Harvey Austin, those are individuals that was managing Teddy, and you know what I'm saying, I'm working with him and Rex and Effect at the time. So I was taught by men how to be a man in this business, right? And even though I was young, I had the understanding because of what I've seen of what I did not want to do, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Now, so one of the things that I think that was always missing for us in our culture is the fact that we didn't have elders on us, really, really holding us down.
Right.
In a vast way. Yes, you had pockets of individuals, but you didn't have a group of grown-ass men saying, hey, slow that down, shorty. This is what you need to be doing. Pay attention to this. Think about this. We didn't have that, so we had to learn it on our own. Everything was through experience.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing this Saturday on HBO, 8 p.m., the 2020 induction to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And we appreciate you guys for joining us this morning. Thank you so much.
Yeah, spread love is the Brooklyn way.
Indeed, indeed. Always love, forever.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Miss
you.
Wallace. All right,
Alrighty.
Wayne.
Miss
Peace.
Voletta Wallace, Wayne Barrow. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much, guys.